Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in today's show, we go to Lanyu Island to see the problems local residents are facing in the aftermath of Typhoon Tianbin. In Taipei's Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, Tzu Chi volunteers and actors are putting on a performance based on the classic Buddhist tale Mu Lian Saves His Mother. And we look at the story of Tzu Chi volunteer Pan Xiancong, who is a dedicated media volunteer in Kaohsiung. A week after Typhoon Tianbin's return visit ravaged Taiwan's Lanyu Island, the lives of some 2,000 residents have almost returned to normal. However, Dongqing Village and Yeying Tribe are still struggling as the residents there are faced with continual water shortages and damage in their farm fields.
Here at Lanyu's Yeying village, the Tao tribe has over 40 underground houses, all of which are built in a unique indigenous way, with only the roof left above the ground.
There's limited space here and we can barely stand up. To go in and out of the two rooms, you are required to climb through this tiny window. This house is made of wood, so it is warm in winter and cool in summer.
The houses can withstand both heat and wind.
This house is built to withstand typhoons. When the wind comes, the house is underground, so our losses are reduced to the minimum.
These houses have kept residents safe from disasters for over a century. Nevertheless, they were severely damaged by Typhoon Tianbin. What's worrying the residents are not only their destroyed homes, but that their lives have been made more difficult without water.
There's no water, we can't get tap water here, so we have to use mountain water instead.
Though the pipe now has mountain water, the pressure is still not enough to cover the residents' daily usage.
The water pipe is easily damaged by mudslides after the storm. We have to work our way to get the pipes here.
And over in Dongqing Village, residents also lack irrigation water, as most of the crops in the field have been covered in mud.
This is all rotten now. It's only been a few days. There's no harvest this year.
45 hectares of taro and sweet potato fields in Lanyu Island have been ravaged by the recent storm. However, residents are coming together to rebuild their homes and lives.
In the United States, Hurricane Isaac threatened to destroy homes in Louisiana. Although the damage was not as severe as anticipated, many residents were still forced to evacuate to the nearby state of Texas. As residents are starting to return home, the local Red Cross sought help from Tzu Chi to help with emergency cash and environmental blankets.
In the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at DeSoto, Texas to send love to the disaster victims. For one survivor, the memory of Hurricane Katrina is still fresh in his mind.
The Katrina, your house got damaged too?
Yeah, my mom and my dad, they lost their house in Katrina. They had 12 feet of water.
As Hurricane Isaac last month threatened to damage southern Louisiana, residents evacuated to the nearby state of Texas. As the hurricane passes, some evacuees are facing the total loss of their homes. Thus, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to help with emergency cash and environmental blankets.
Take care. It'll be good. Everything will be fine. Be okay. Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And have a nice trip back to New Orleans. Yeah, safe.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
The evacuees at the Faith Bible Church temporary shelter survived Katrina 7 years ago, and now Isaac. Receiving Tzu Chi's help and love stirs up emotions.
I have nothing, and it's hard. And
stand by you.
And I thank you so. I'm so grateful to these people who helped me. They helped me tremendously. I didn't have anything, nobody, no friend, and you guys are now my friend. I just thank you so much.
Our Buddha bless you.
Thank you so much.
You will get well. Thanks.
Armed with Tzu Chi's love, the residents are ready to face the task of rebuilding their homes.
Since 2000, the Tzu Free Clinic in the city of Alhambra, California, has been holding free checkups for the women in the Chinese communities. The clinic provides free mammography and pap smears. The Tzu Free Clinic in Alhambra, California, has been holding regular breast cancer and cervical cancer checkups for local Asian women. According to statistics in the U.S., 1 woman in 8 will get breast cancer, and the percentage of Asian women has increased.
The percentage of cases of breast cancers in Asian women has increased in the U.S. I think it might be the environment or the changing of their eating habits.
And I think that this is a very important program because many women, either they are lack of education or lack of funding or difficulty with language, have not been able to get preventive medicine or the screening of breast cancer and cervical cancer like they should. And I'm happy to be able to volunteer here.
For the new immigrants who are not familiar with English, the free clinic is very convenient. Many of them participate in the event every year.
应该是50多岁起就参加到现在了。你现在几岁？我现在62了。我之前一直有来慈济这边走动啊。哦，所以你知道。我好几次。
I have attended the event many times, once a year.
Since the Tzu Free Clinic started the free health check program in 2000, some of the doctors have been volunteering since then. In the future, the doctors will continue their efforts to safeguard local residents' health. In the late May, 2 earthquakes of magnitude of 6 and 5.8 struck northeast Italy, leaving many buildings destroyed. Tzu volunteers from Germany made their way through different channels to carry out disaster survey. From August 21st to 25th, the volunteers once again drove to the disaster area in the municipality of Bolzano to conduct another disaster survey.
The earthquake was 3 months ago, but the area around the province of Ferrara is still devastated. Following last month's survey, German Tzu volunteers are back again, only to find that the victims are still living in tents, and with the recent summer heat wave, they only have some public areas to escape to. From the time the earthquake happened at the end of May, German Tzu volunteers have wanted to enter the affected area for relief work. Finally, in mid-July, they were able to carry out the disaster survey, but due to the serious nature of the situation, they re-entered the area on August 21st in hopes of better understanding the victims' situation.
Our town is near the earthquake epicenter. We have about 6,000 residents and many buildings are destroyed. We really need help from outside sources, especially when it comes to reconstructing the schools.
In the affected areas, the victims not only have to face the problem of destroyed schools, but also the upcoming winter. Besides introducing a cash card system to the government to help the disaster victims, Tzu volunteers are also seeking out help from local entrepreneurs.
I think Tzu is a wonderful organization. You came here especially to do a disaster survey. Since I have the means to help, I want to do something for my own people.
With the autumn knocking on the door, the temperature will soon be dropping. Tzu volunteers hope to help the local residents and disaster victims move out of their tents before the harsh winter comes.
In Taiwan, Tzu recently held a day-long exhibition followed by a performance of the classic Buddhist tale Mu Lian Saves His Mother at Taipei's Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. To help the story find more resonance with the audiences, the start of the performance, Xu Yafen did her best to humanize the performance so that it could better transmit its messages.
As the finale of the day's events, Tzu Ji puts on a show of the Buddhist parable, Mu Lian saves his mother. The star Xu Yafen used her own background as a mother and daughter to bring a modern-day twist to the performance.
Humans have feelings. As soon as Mu Lian became a monk, his mother died. In hell, his mother suffered from her past karma. Fortunately, the Buddha told him how to go about getting the power to save his mother.
By telling the story from a more human perspective, it is easier for those in the audience to relate and find meaning in their own lives.
It was the result of sin, so when you kill, you create bad karma, and that is not good. Today's play showed us very clearly that we should not take life.
These plays have to be humanized. Only then will people be able to relate. People nowadays don't know where they have gone wrong, so we use these plays to tell them in a slightly exaggerated fashion what they need to hear, and by connecting it to daily life, the audience will begin to look at it from the viewpoint of their own lives.
As part of the 7th lunar month celebrations, Tzu Ji also held an exhibition throughout the day at CKS, which was attended by many, including a Dharma master from Vietnam and 2 exchange students from Nicaragua.
They are college students and have only been here for 1 week. They must have good blessings to visit Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall at the very same time we are holding this event.
For the past 3 years, I have been bringing groups to participate. I hope that their time here will plant the seeds of the Bodhisattva in their heart, and that they will begin to see that the entire world is one family.
Although some initially believed that the teachings of Buddhism were hard to understand, thanks to Tzu Ji's efforts in humanizing the teachings, many are as applicable to the 21st century as they were 2,000 years ago.
To break the superstition of Ghost Month, which is the 7th lunar month, Philippines Tzu Ji volunteers held a blessing ceremony at the Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce in hopes of instilling the belief of auspiciousness, filial piety, and gratefulness to the Chinese-Filipino community.
Using flowers and fruits to replace meat offerings, Philippine Tzu Ji volunteers are holding a blessing ceremony at the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry to try to break the traditional superstitions associated with the 7th lunar month.
In most people's mind, the 7th lunar month is a bad month, but actually it's an auspicious month, and we want to pass this message on to our Chinese community.
祈愿心灯，内外明亮。
At the blessing ceremony, there is no traditional methods of worship. Instead, volunteers lead participants in a heartfelt prayer for peace.
Our family used to be superstitious too. Previous year, we did not do anything during this month. Then my friend explained the superstitions to me. Today, I came to participate in Tzu Ji's blessing ceremony and broke my superstitious habits. Now I realize that the 7th lunar month is an auspicious month.
Besides changing the many deeply rooted beliefs associated with the 7th lunar month, Tzu Ji volunteers also encourage participants to try being a vegetarian.
We want to spread the message of conservation ideals to protect our planet by going meatless. It's what we hope to do by holding the blessing ceremony here in the community.
Being a vegetarian.
To become a vegetarian, we need to decrease our meat intake because these animals, like us, they have a life too. Through the volunteers sharing, I will eat less meat and eat more vegetables.
The Philippines has faced many disasters recently. Tzu Ji volunteers hope by holding this blessing ceremony, residents can use their sincerity to bring peace to the land.
In Taiwan, to help spread the Buddhist teachings and Master Cheng Yun's philosophy, starting from September the 3rd, DaAi TV will be broadcasting a new show called Bodhi Mind. The show is set to promote Buddhist teachings through the use of Taiwanese opera.
若是要起厝，这对珠宝应该足足有缘，你哪会无？ 若是有钱，就想要起厝；你若是有厝，就想要娶某。
Using Taiwanese opera, Tzu Ji is telling the stories of the Buddha.
故事的选择上跟故事的
We decided to tell the stories that don't have any supernatural aspects to them. We want to use Taiwanese opera to lead our audience into the world of Buddhism.
戏的方式去引领大家。
The stage play is describing the story of Devadatta and how his past behavior led him in a cycle of bad karma.
歌仔戏的话，一方面是在
We decided to use Taiwanese opera to portray our stories because it has not been on the television for a long time. This time we are working with top Taiwanese opera performers as a way to not only promote the arts, but to also present the Buddha's teachings.
去做一个共同结合的发挥。
The Taiwanese opera is a crystallization of Taiwan's popular culture and originated in Yilan County more than 100 years ago. To make sure the opera will be accepted by viewers, word choice was very important.
上人其实也给我们一些
Mr. Zheng Yan gave us a lot of suggestions. For example, we should use better wording and make sure the words are not too hard to understand. Many of our volunteers can understand Taiwanese, but without subtitles, they won't understand its meanings.
他还需要思考。
With its new TV show, DaAi TV hopes to use Taiwanese opera to spread Master Zheng Yan's teachings and the stories of the Buddha. Staying in Taiwan, Pan Xiancong is a milk delivery man who decided to join his local Tzu Ji media team. Despite knowing nothing about computers, with a never say quit attitude, Pan soon mastered the use of the computer and has even become his team's leader.
This is a report of the groundbreaking ceremony of DaAi Sanling village dedicated to the victims of Typhoon Morakot. These video reels and more are the work of Pan Xiancong. Seeing him expertly edit raw footage, it is hard to believe that Pan came to the job absolutely clueless about computers.
When I first became a media volunteer, I was computer illiterate, but I was determined to overcome this.
Unafraid of asking others for help, Pan Xiancong joined Tzu Ji's media volunteer team, and in just 1 year, he has become one of the team's most apt editor and cameraman.
Wherever he has trouble doing, he will study how others are doing it. The more he studies, the better he gets. The more he takes on, the more he can do.
Pan Xiancong works as a driver for a local milk distributor. Every day, he drives the streets and alleys of Kaohsiung, delivering fresh milk.
When I'm doing my deliveries, if I get an assignment, I will give the liaison office a call. Usually I use the afternoon to handle office work, and that includes my media volunteer work.
Hardworking Pan knows how to make the best use of his time. Once finished with his deliveries, he rushes to handle his media volunteer responsibilities.
Humanitarianism is a mission. There are many aspects to this job. Sometimes our team gets written reports, other times it gets pictures. Or they want to work, but we can't.
After filming, Pan Xiancong, along with his team, heads into the editing room to discuss what they have just filmed. As a team leader, Pan also handles coordination with other groups.
Every day I have to figure out how to cover our bases with the people we have. We can't just say we can't finish this because we have other responsibilities. So I have to figure out ways to use people so everything gets done.
Thanks to this attitude, in just 1 year, Pan Xiancong was able to produce 21 special reports. In addition to covering countless events in the local community, What is the secret behind his success?
I do my best in everything I do and don't worry about the results.
Recently, Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers visited the Songkhla Juvenile Training Center to educate youngsters on how harmful drugs are to our human body. Volunteers also put on short skits to help children understand the importance of filial piety.
Prior to their first visit at Songkhla Juvenile Training Center, Thailand Tzu Chi volunteers have already held 3 meetings to organize the trip.
Tzu Chi volunteers are very diligent. They give love to every youngster. How much these children can feel it will depend on whether themselves have put in some efforts or not.
Here at the training center, many children are under the influence of drugs. Tzu Chi volunteers want the children to learn that drugs are detrimental to the human body, and our brains won't ever be the same if we had taken drugs. These caregivers also hope to inspire the students to do good.
To do things that does not hurt others, just complete my own duty and let everyone feel happy.
Short skits show how hard it is for parents to maintain their families, and the children identify with the characters in the stories.
After watching these skits about pregnancy, I understand my mother more, and I understand the hardships she had with me. I really want to say sorry for many things I've done, since I was naughty as the kids in the sketch.
By bringing out the goods in the children's hearts, they can start thinking about how their life can be different.
In Taiwan, Hong Shou-jun is a passionate art teacher who loves to paint. Sadly, a year ago, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. After watching the real-life story of a Tzu Chi volunteer on DaAi TV, Hong was inspired to hold an art exhibition and to donate the money raised to those in need.
Accompanied by her family, cancer patient Hong Shou-jun is here for the opening of her art exhibition. A year ago, Hong was diagnosed with lung cancer, and today the cancer cells have spread to her brain, leaving her with poor eyesight. The woman had no choice but to give up painting. However, after watching DaAi TV, she decided to hold a charity exhibition.
She was watching the real-life story based on what the Yang Qilin on DaAi TV and saw how he held a charity exhibition. So she thought, since these artworks won't have any meaning if we just leave them at home, she was inspired to do the same.
Apart from holding an art show, the couple also vows to join Tzu Chi's work one day.
We were planning to join Tzu Chi after retirement, but this illness changed our plans. So I promised my wife, when she recovers, we will join the volunteer ranks.
Though Hong Shou-jun is unable to lend a helping hand to those in need, she hopes through her artwork to bring spiritual comfort and peace to those sharing the same fate.
In Indonesia, to celebrate the 7th lunar month as a month of auspiciousness, more than 100 Tzu Chi volunteers gathered to perform the Sutra of Profound Gratitude towards parents at Kilang Park Gading in Jakarta. Meanwhile, in Batam, volunteers use short skits to encourage residents to adopt a meatless diet and no burning of joss paper. That's all the time we have for. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.